though he was strongly influenced as a child by his grandmother, who seemed to him like a magician in the kitchen.
Chef O'Connell is a Washington, D.C. native, and for almost 40 years he has presided over the Inn at Little Washington and the Blue Ridge Mountains. The Inn was dubbed one of the top 10 restaurants in the entire world, and dining there has been called a life-changing experience. We now want to welcome Chef Patrick O'Connell to the dish this morning. Always good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. I got to tell you, you're a fine chef, but you're also a fine dresser. I've been talking about this blazer for the past couple of minutes. Tell us what we have here today.
Well, we have a little taste of the Virginia countryside in springtime. So we have some wild morels that are sort of our version of the truffle, this magical thing that appears only in spring. These little conical-shaped mushrooms, and we relish them. We have some turnips from the garden, and we have the first asparagus, some wild rice pilaf, and under here we have a little miniature baked Alaska with some bees. So many people come to the Inn to celebrate special occasions that we make these for birthdays and anniversaries.
So beautiful too. That's pulled sugar, right?
It is. It is. We actually make it in a mixing bowl and dribble the sugar in and then let it set and pop it out.
I want to ask about your grandmother. Because she seems like she was a very influential, I mean, we said magician, but how do you remember her in the kitchen?
Well, she was able to make something out of nothing, which is really the transformative process that cooking is all about.
And the story of grandmothers as well, right?
Yes, well, they do seem sort of like magical people. There was always something wonderful to eat. She had a little apple tree outside and some strawberry plants, and she would just step out, fill her apron, come back in, and make a magical dinner for a huge number of people.
You're also self-taught. How do you find cooking?
Well, the first job I ever had was in a restaurant, Mr. H. Hamburgers in Clinton, Maryland. I was 15, I had a paper route, and I was bitten by a few too many dogs. And I rode my bike up to the back door, knocked on the door, and said, "I'd like a job." And they were my people. You don't have to be normal to work in a restaurant.
And so from then, I mean, because I think people look at the Inn in Washington and it's hard for them to realize it started with one structure. That used to be a garage, is
That's
that right?
We rented half of a garage for $200 a month to start.
How did the evolution happen? Because, I mean, it's just breathtaking. The images, the drapery, the colors.
Well, it's been a work in progress for 38 years. So day by day, little by little, moment by moment, decade by decade.
What's your secret to customer service? A lot of people from around the entire world, they have to go to this place and try the food out. What's your secret, if you could share it?
Well, it's creating a culture of service, which is very, very simple. You simply have to be the guest. You have to get inside the guest's mind and feel as the guest feels.
Is it ever overwhelming? Because I would think cooking for queens and kings and presidents, and